handy matchup for you. The San Diego Chargers, once beaten this year at New England, face the Denver Broncos, 3-2, and the black armband that Craig Morton is wearing, as we told you in the pregame show, in memory of the Denver Broncos public relations director, Bob Peck, who passed away on Tuesday of this week. It should be an inspiring football game, to say the least. A must-win on both ends. The Broncos not wanting to fall 2 games behind San Diego, yet the Chargers, Bob, desperately wanting to open that 2-game gap. Here we go, and Roy Girella kicks it deep into the end zone. And out of the field of play, and Denver will start from its own 20-yard line. Roy Girella replacing Ralph Benershka, who is on the injured reserve list and will be out for the rest of the year. The young man will undergo surgery, in fact, for Crohn's disease next week. Bobby?
There's the offensive backs for the Denver Broncos. Norris Weiss, who is the scrambler, the more mobile of the 2 quarterbacks for Red Miller and the Denver Broncos, so he'll start. But the Broncos do have a relief quarterback, and that's Craig Morton. We'll see.
First down at their own 20. They send Rick Upchurch wide left, Haven Moses to the right. Lytle 41. Jensen 30. The setback sits Jensen to about the 22-yard line, maybe the 23. So it'll be second down 7. An outstanding core of receivers have the Denver Broncos. And if Weiss can get him the football, this team can score a ton of points. Haven Moses, the veteran, probably the most respected receiver on this ball club.
From San Diego State, too. Played under Don Coryell down there.
Moses is wide left. Now he slots inside of Upchurch. Both receivers split to the left. Second down 7. Weiss trips as he rolls out. Throws a quick pop to Riley Odoms. He dropped the football and fell on it, but the catch is not allowed. It goes as an incompleted pass.
Sam, if I may notice something here already, I think the Denver Broncos realize they're going to have to come with something on the last page of their playbooks to kind of trick the San Diego Chargers. That is a trick play. That is not the way the Denver Broncos normally play football. Normally they play it pretty close to the vest. There's Dave Studdard. Now we have an interesting confrontation here. A young man, Studdard, going against Fred Dean, who weighs about 215 pounds and is an awesome pass rusher for the San Diego Chargers.
Third down 7, Denver. 23-yard line of Denver. What a great day here. 85 degrees. Winds at 16 miles per hour out of Denver's back. That would be the northwest of the stadium. Weiss play action. He's got room he can run for. Hits the 30 to the 35. First down, Denver. Excellent decision by Norris Weiss as he rolled to his right, had plenty of room and ran for the first down.
And Sam, that's exactly why Red Miller likes to start the football game off with Norris Weiss, because of his mobility. Craig Morton is the leader at the quarterback position for the Denver Broncos, but there is no way Craig Morton can run when he gets in trouble. Last year, the Denver Broncos were sacked 48 times, and most people believe it was because Craig Morton was so immobile. This guy does not have a great arm. He has a good arm, but he is mobile.
At the 35, back live from the I formation, Rob Lytle, 41 is the deep back. Larry Canada, number 35, gets the call in front of him to about the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8. The Broncos, a 3-2 football team, coming off what has to be described as an embarrassing loss at Oakland last Sunday. Wilbur Young is the man who has made the front four go, strange as it may seem. The ex-Kansas City star replacing All-Pro Louis Kelcher. He'll have to do it all year, Bobby.
And Louis Kelcher is on the sideline, I suppose, for a little psychological lift for his team. Underwent knee surgery. He is out, and Wilbur Young is a giant, Sam.
Second down, let's call it a long 8 at the Denver 37-yard line. This is Lytle. Inside an excellent block to the 41-yard line. I think the block came from Claudie Miner, 71, and Lytle cut it up for a gain of about 5.
And there was also a great block by Riley Odoms, who is one of the premier defensive tight ends there is in the business. A good block on the defensive end. You won't be able to see it here. Denver's success this year running inside has been because of the emergence of their offensive line, and most of the offensive linemen at Denver give the credit right to their coach, the offensive line coach, Whitey Doble, who came from Baltimore. There's the linebackers for the San Diego Chargers. Should be busy today.
And number 55, Horn, made the tackle on the carry by Lytle. So it's third down and about 4 now for Denver at its 41-yard line. They put Odoms in motion and Weiss back to pass. Has a man wide open. Lytle at the 50, can't hold on. That ball may have been been stripped by Willie Buchanan? If so, it was an excellent defensive play by the all-pro quarterback of the Chargers.
Sam, let me say something here. I may be wrong. When I watch this play, I'll know better. But I think Norris Weiss, suffering from a very average arm, that ball should be rifled in there. I think Rob Lytle was looking for Craig Morton to rifle it in there. That ball is not coming. That's a heavy ball to catch when they throw it, not with the real spin on the ball like Craig Morton has. But he should have caught it.
So the rookie Luke Prestridge, number 11, back at his own 25-yard line, will kick it to Mike Fuller, number 3 in the AFC in punt returns. Prestridge is the rookie, and Fuller driven back to his 14, 20. 25, gets outside and out of bounds at the 27. Another excellent return by Fuller, who's averaging 11.5 yards. He doesn't waste any time. The minute he lays hands on the football, he is gone. 45 yards on the punt by Prestridge, a 15-yard return.
And yet Rick Upchurch constantly gets the publicity, and Mike Fuller is actually doing a better job this year.
The man who has made the offensive San Diego go, Bill Walsh, the head coach of the 49ers, says that Dan Fouts is the best leader in all of pro football.
Completing 64% of his passes. Double tight end.
And the give to Mike Thomas to about the 27-yard line, and I take it back. It's
Clarence Williams.
Clarence Williams, number 40, the ball carrier. So he gains a couple of yards.
Sam, last year, here's the wide receivers, J.J. 13 receptions last year for touchdowns as a rookie. But let me tell you about this offensive lineup of the San Diego Chargers. Last week, Oakland embarrassed Denver by using the double tight end offense. Obviously, the Chargers feel they can do the same thing.
There's a great wide receiver, J.J., number 83. In motion now to the right. Thomas, 22. Williams, 40 to setbacks. Mike Thomas, the ex-Redskins star, darts to about the 34-yard line and just a little shy of a first down. He's stopped there by Bernard Jackson, 29, the free safety. And so it'll bring around third and very, very short yardage for the Chargers. As you look at the men who make it go up front, one of the biggest offensive lines in all of pro football.
Also one of the most experienced, Doug Wilkerson in white there. He had surgery on his knee 5 weeks ago and is playing today. That is incredible. Russ Washington and Billy Shields are probably two of the biggest offensive tackles in professional football.
Don't believe the story on Wilkerson. That's somebody else in his body, I'm sure.
No, that's him. That's him.
Third down and 1. John Grant, 63, comes in at nose guard for Denver. Third and 1. Williams stuck his head in there, but I don't believe he got it. He crossed the 35, but if he did, he crossed it by inches. He needed to get to the 35.5, and the placement is all important here. And while they decide where to put the ball, let me give you our officials. The referee is Red Cashin. The umpire, Art Demis. Our head linesman is Ed Marion. The line judge, Tom Dooley. Back judge, Jim Fouch. The side judge, Nate Jones. And the field judge is Bill Kingset, as they bring the sticks into measure here.
One of the tough things for San Diego today, Sam, is that Denver is allowing their opponents only 98 yards rushing per football game. And, they made the first down.
They did
by
indeed.
about half the length of the football. San Diego is a very multiple offense. They will run it. They will throw it. And some of the problems with the Denver defense has been with Reuben Carter because of his injuries. In the last few years, the Denver defense has turned the ball over consistently to the offensive good field position. They're not getting it this year, and it's because the nose man has been unhealthy. 34 defenses rely on a very good nose man.
Let me also tell you that Gradishar is not in there to start. Larry Evans, 56, playing one of the inside linebacking spots. Flag is down. Fouts has a man wide open. He gets it to the 43-yard line. Charlie Joyner, the receiver. But their flag is down, and this may come back after Joyner picked up 7. Now let's go back and talk about Gradishar for a moment, because it is impossible to think the Denver Broncos can play as well as they're capable of playing. A legal procedure, you see the indication from Red Cashin, without the best inside linebacker in pro football.
Well, he missed most of the preseason with a foot injury, and then he played 4 games, and just because of nagging injuries, he's not healthy. He's just now rounding into shape. He had surgery on his ring finger. Here's the call.
2 men were moving by the offense. All of them were not set. First down.
One man has to be set before the other one goes in motion. Anyway, Randy Gradishar had surgery on his ring finger, and they have a cast. He can play, but they don't want him to start.
Now they go to 4 down linemen. They bring in Bruce Radford, 78, so it's Chavis, Carter, Manor, and Radford up front. They take out a linebacker. And the handoff. Clarence Williams stopped right at the line of scrimmage by number 68, Reuben Carter.
And as soon as you say there's something wrong with the player, he comes up with a great play like that. Reuben Carter out of Miami. And as I said, there's the linebackers. Larry Evans replacing Randy Gradishar. They have Larry Evans is the only linebacker listed right there that weighs more than 230 pounds, if you can imagine that.
I want to tell you something about Tom Jackson, too. You know he's one of the outstanding outside linebackers in the game. He was quoted this week as saying, "We are an overconfident football team, and we better get our act together." He knows where the problem lies. Thomas in motion. Bouts has all day and hits his big tight end at the 40-yard line. Bobby Klein, number 84, that'll be shy of a first down. Stopped immediately by number 51, Bob Swenson, and Bernard Jackson, 29. It'll be third down and about 5, San Diego.
And there's the defensive backs. Bill Thompson will be on Bob Klein today, and also a young man, their first-round draft choice for San Diego out of Missouri, Kellen Winslow, most of the day. Thompson's an all-pro strong safety. Wright, probably the best cornerback there is in the business. Foley.
So a fairly big play early here in the first quarter. No score. Another capacity crowd. They've had 68 straight sellouts since the year 1970. Bouts, little pressure, throws it out to Charlie Joyner. What a play by Foley, number 43, on Charlie Joyner, who appeared to have the first down but didn't get it.
Lots of motion trying to confuse the Denver defense. The best thing they did was when J.J. came in motion, that's Jefferson, they jammed him and he couldn't get across. And I think Charlie Joyner's a secondary receiver, and that's a fine open field tackle. Now here comes a real important point. Here's Jefferson. Watch the chuck he gets here to keep him from going downfield. This is how San Diego's going to win the ball game. They got it. Jeff West has got to kick the ball very high, keep it away from Rick Upchurch.
And that is Upchurch, number 80, in single safety, deep for Denver. West, a great high spiral. He boomed it, driving Upchurch back to the 5 and in. Oh, it took a San Diego bounce. And they kill it at the 6-yard line. Hank Bauer, number 37, and West kicked the daylights out of the football. He got it up another mile here at Mile High Stadium. 50 yards on the punt, no return. Denver goes on the offense when we return. We'll bring you up to date on all of that. Now let's go back down to the floor of Mile High and let's see what happens with Denver and Norris Weiss. 7-yard line is a line of scrimmage. First down, Denver. Second back through Jensen. Pulls his way out across the 10 to the 11-yard line, but a flag is down. See whether or not that will be allowed. Jimmy Jensen was a former number 1 draft choice, or number 2 draft choice of the Dallas Cowboys. They don't make mistakes like that, Bob. How do you ever get away?
Well, they also made a mistake with Jim Zorn in Seattle, so they do make some mistakes, but
that's what I said.
Not very often.
They make mistakes, but not very
They just have so many good football players that they got to give a few up. Holding against Denver. Oh.
Let's go through our final scores that we have. Trumpy, let's hold it.
Holding by the offense, number 60. First down.
First down again. Trumpy Cincinnati Bengals were beaten. There are no longer any undefeated teams in the NFL. The Giants upset Tampa Bay. 17-14. The Eagles in a walk over the Redskins. They are for real. More in a moment. From the 4-yard line. A little daylight out across the 5 to the 6. It's Otis Armstrong, the ball carrier. The rest of the finals today, New England squeaked out a 21-17 win over Detroit at Foxborough. Poor Monty Clark. And in the wind and the hail at Rich Stadium, Orchard Park, the Bears blanked Joe Ferguson. I think he was something like 4 for 20 today throwing the ball.
What's even more amazing is Buffalo held Chicago to only 7 points. There's another third quarter score. Houston 14-10 over St. Louis.
Here we have second down 11. Larry Canada in the backfield along with Otis Armstrong, and Denver will shuttle their backs. Canada, quick hitter to maybe the 9-yard line. I don't think he got that far. Stopped there by middle linebacker Bob Horn again. Preston has played just outstanding, the left side linebacker. Don Good went down before the season began. Preston opened up the year in Seattle, and Good has not gotten back in there. That's a third quarter score. Houston leading St. Louis, that at the Astrodome. And also, Pittsburgh has gone out on front of the Browns in that bloodbath, the Turnpike rivalry, 7-0 in Cleveland. Third down and 10. Crowd gets a little noisy, as they frequently do, but Weiss will not put it up. Armstrong to about the 14-yard line. Far short of a first down, but he didn't want to gamble.
I do think it's a characteristic of the Denver offense that when they're in the minus field position, that is the field position by their goal line, they are very, very conservative. Once they get to the 50-yard line, then they will be a little more outgoing. Here's the middle linebacker, Bob Horn. His job is to pursue laterally across the line and try to make the tackle. Takes on a block, overruns it a bit, but he's done an excellent job for San Diego in the middle.
Prestridge, the rookie out of Baylor, a 7th-round draft choice in his end zone. Kicking to Mike Fuller, and a great punt by Prestridge over Fuller's head. And Mike's going to let this bounce. How's that for getting out of trouble? Inside the 25-yard line. It rolls dead at the 23. Prestridge has boomed one here, much to the liking of the partisan, 64 yards.
There's Louis Kelcher, underwent knee surgery, out for the season. But can you imagine, he was a 2nd-round draft choice in 1975, and in that same draft, the San Diego Chargers got Gary Johnson, Mike Williams, and Fred Dean, and Louis Kelcher.
That's a whole football team, and
not by himself, he's a whole football team.
From the 23-yard line, San Diego's 2nd possession of the game as J.J. goes in motion. And the give to Clarence Williams. Cuts it back at the 25 to the 27-yard line. Good lateral pursuit by the down lineman, and there are 4 of them for Denver at this stage. Latimer 72, Chavis 79, Grant 63, Bryson Manor 66. Manor is an interesting story in himself. He has the unenviable task of replacing Lyle Alzado as you look at the stats on Clarence Williams.
And you can't even get anybody from the Denver Broncos to mention the name of Lyle Alzado, but I do think it has an effect on their defense. That's why they're not quite as successful getting to the quarterback this year.
Jefferson goes wide left, Joyner to the right. 2nd down and 7, San Diego, and they send the tight end Bob Klein in motion. Fouts, quick out pattern. He's got his man on the far side and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That's running back Mike Thomas, the 5th-year pro out of Nevada, Las Vegas. And he will be close to a 1st down, run out there by Louis Wright, who some people feel is the best cornerback in the National Football League. Have any idea who Louis Wright considers the top 3 receivers in the National Football League, Bob? I'll give you a clue. You're not among them.
Thank you very much. I think he considers Haven Moses one of them.
Nope. Number 1 is Lynn Swan. Number 2, Nat Moore of Miami. Number 3, John Jefferson of San Diego.
Well, he's going to see plenty of him today.
3rd down, a long one for Fouts. Going to throw it. Out here again, and he overthrew. He had 2 receivers in the same zone. I don't believe that was meant to be. 2 people were over there, and he overthrew them both. So Jeff West will have to punt it again.
Great coverage by the Denver defensive backs. 5 guys back there. And I'm telling you, sometimes when you run patterns against that 34 defense with 5 nickel backs, it looks like there's 20 guys out there. That's not a bad start. 62-yard kick for the first one. He's got to keep doing it all day long to keep it away from Upchurch.
West average of 48.7 in San Francisco on 3 punts last week. That game was in San Diego. But he ranks 13th in the conference. He has not had what you would call a banner year. Upchurch at the 30. 35. And they gang tackle him shy of the 40-yard line. Even in traffic, Upchurch gets 9 on the return. A punt of 40 yards by West. Denver goes on the offense again. Will return to Mile High Stadium in a moment. As you look at the respective coaches, Coryell and Miller, let me give you some partial scores. First quarter, Baltimore, winless, has gone on top of the Jets 7-0. Landry to Reese McCall. And New England 24-17 over Detroit with a minute to play in the game. We're back live here at Scoreless. Denver starts at its own 39-yard line. Norris Weeks. Rob Lytle the ball carrier. No play action. Fooled me completely, but he did not fool number 68, Leroy Jones, who threw him down for a huge loss. Freddie Dean there also.
That was pretty tricky. It almost fooled us. But as I said, once Denver gets away from its goal line, fooled our cameraman too, but we can't fault him. Leroy Jones on a hand tackle. But as they get more towards the middle of the field, the Denver offense is a lot more open.
More partials, 3rd quarter. Houston leads St. Louis 14-10. Pittsburgh 14-0 over Cleveland in the first quarter. And New Orleans is going on top of the Rams 7-0. Tony Galbraith, the 3-yard run. 2nd and 21 now for Denver. Weiss sprinting out, throws it out here. The keyword that he's out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Did not even gain back the yardage he lost on 1st down. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado, 85 degrees. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy delighted to bring this one to you, and it's going to be a dandy, I guarantee it. 3rd and 15, Upchurch wide left, Haven Moses to the right.
San Diego with 5 defensive backs in the ballgame, Sam.
Fake the blitz. Weiss forced out of the pocket. He's got all day if he wants to throw it. And runs out of daylight and room at the 41-yard line. Excellent coverage in the secondary by Glenn Edwards and Fuller, particularly the strong and weak safeties. And he had nobody to throw it to.
He made yardage, Sam, but they're not going to win a football game by him scrambling time after time. And I'm sure that's what Red Miller is telling him. They're using a half rollout to try to get away from San Diego's awesome pass rush, but it's not working. They got to get the ball down the field. Here we go.
Prestridge will kick it from about his own 30. He has averaged 55.5 yards in 2 punts today. Kicks this one almost to the end zone. Out. Absolutely remarkable. I think it hit inside. No. They kill it on the 3. Let's see whether they allow it or not.
Hit the line.
They do not allow it. It went into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. A 59-yard punt by the rookie from Baylor. From Mile High Stadium in Denver, Sam Nover, Bob Trumpy. A scoreless football game. The story here has been punting. The rookie Prestridge has averaged 57 yards a punt in 3 kicks for Denver. Jeff West kicking into the wind, 45 on 2 punts. Bouts fakes the end around and hits Charlie Joyner for a first down at the 35-yard line. And the big story defensively, Bob, is that Randy Gradishar has made his first appearance in the Denver linebacking core in this ball game.
Well, he is the core of their defense, Sam, in that 34 defense. He and Bob Swenson make about 75% of the tackles for Denver, and he's an inspirational leader for them. He had surgery on his finger, his ring finger, earlier in the week, and they did not want him to start, but Randy Gradishar wanted to play, and in the end result, it is the player's choice.
Boy, the Lions gave New England all they could handle today. It's final. The Patriots 24-17 over Detroit. Mike Thomas to the 40-yard line. He's like a little water bug. 5 quick yards for the former Washington Redskins star. They have a wealth of running backs in San Diego. Lydell Mitchell has yet to see the light of day, although he did have a staph infection that's carried on to the regular season.
And I still wonder how Gene Klein got Mike Thomas away from Washington for a 5th-round draft choice in 1980. What a steal. That may be the secret to San Diego's offensive threat this season.
Kellen Winslow, number 80, the huge tight end, playing wide receiver. Apparently Charlie Joyner got injured on that last reception. Winslow. Clarence Williams now to the 43-yard line. He'll come up a couple of yards shy of a first down. So it'll be 3rd down at about 2 for San Diego. And we'll look at it again. Boy, how'd you like to have Winslow and Bob Klein with Winslow running out of the wide receiving spot?
Tough on you. There's Randy Gradishar down the line, but his job is to flow along the line and try to make the stop as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. An excellent tackler, but he got cut down by Doug Wilkerson here. That's a story in itself. Doug Wilkerson, 4 weeks after knee surgery. He is playing.
3rd down and 1. Williams. I don't believe he got there. He crossed the 30 or the 45. But again, it was like a situation early in the first quarter when they needed the same kind of thrust from their running back, and Williams got it for him. Let's see about this one.
Well, this is the tough part of professional football with all those fat bodies down there. Mike Thomas threw there. I don't think they made it. But I'll tell you what, Sam, San Diego's offensive backs, that tandem of Mike Thomas and Clarence Williams, Williams is averaging 4.5 yards a carry, Thomas 5.1. So they're going to get their yards. This is going to be close.
He got it again.
By a thumbnail.
And what is very interesting is that Oakland ran the football so effectively against Denver last Sunday. San Diego's great success has been throwing the ball. However, I guess taking a tip from Mark Van Egan and Stabler and company, they're trying to run it down their throats.
Well, I think Don Coryell is saying if we haven't won here in 10 years, let's take what everybody else is doing and use it to the best possible way we can. So therefore, 2 tight ends and keep running the ball down their throat. That's going to make their passing in the second half a lot easier.
And Jefferson is the only receiver as Thomas goes in motion. Bouts a little flare past it. Clarence Williams. Across the 45 to the 48, Steve Foley closed very quickly from his right cornerback spot and made the tackle after a gain of about 3 or 4. So it'll be second down for Fouts.
One of the real pluses for the Denver defense is that with that alignment that they have in there, with the linebackers they have in there now, they only have one guy over 230 pounds, and that's Randy Gradishar. They have probably the most active linebackers in professional football with Swinson, Rizzo, Tom Jackson. They can run with any running back there is in the game.
Rizzo has come out of there again, and they go to 4 down linemen. They have done that frequently in certain situations here. We are running out of time in the first quarter. It has come to an end. So, scoreless football game at the end of one quarter. We'll be right back after these messages from your local stations. I've never ceased to be amazed at what happens. Pittsburgh 21-0 over Cleveland, all in the first quarter. And that game being played in Cleveland. And Minnesota leads Dallas 7-3 in Minnesota. Also, Houston has gone on top of the Cardinals now, 17-10. That game is in the fourth quarter. Here it's scoreless. Fouts on second and 7. And did he catch it? Incomplete. Intended for Mike Thomas on the far sideline. And he was double teamed by the outside linebacker Tommy Jackson and free safety Bernard Jackson. They were both there.
And Fouts took a chance on that one, Sam. Thomas was covered, but he still tried to get it in there.
Also, New Orleans 7-0 over the Rams. Tony Galbraith a 3-yard run. Baltimore winless in 5. Beating the Jets 7-0 on a Greg Landry to Reese McCall pass of 17 yards. Here it's 3rd down and 7 from the San Diego 48-yard line. We haven't had much offense. We have had no scoring whatsoever. Thomas in motion. Kellen Winslow one-handed the ball. 25. Carries a man to the 21-yard line. The remarkable rookie from Missouri caught it with one hand.
And what San Diego is doing is putting Thomas in motion. That's taking Jackson out of the middle line. You see Jackson go with motion. That means single coverage. Kellen Winslow on Bill Thompson. And this is a finely thrown ball, but look at that catch. Goodness gracious. First-round draft choice out of Missouri, 6'5", 255 pounds, and he's a backup wide receiver. Not bad at all.
And Tom Jackson was hurt on the play. He's over on the sidelines kneeling. 4 down lineman for Denver. Jackson is out of there. First down San Diego, the best scoring threat of the day at the Denver 22-yard line. Jefferson is the only split receiver, and Thomas dances to the 20 and no farther. Evans 56 there, making sure he doesn't go any further. And from the bottom of the pile, I believe it's Reuben Carter, 68. Now Carter comes out, replaced by Don Latimer, 72. He was our #1 draft choice 2 years ago from Miami, Florida.
Sam, those statistics are much misleading. San Diego, with the exception of one pass, is not doing very much offensively. They're not able to run the ball against Denver at all, and they have to do that to set up their passing.
2nd down, 8 San Diego. Jefferson again, the lone split receiver. Williams carries people to the 16-yard line. Stopped there by Gradishar, 53. We'll give him a gain of about 4. Clarence Williams played at South Carolina, was a teammate of Kevin Long, who's established himself as one of the better running backs in the National Football League with the New York Jets.
Along with Scott Durkee, that is a fine backfield.
Yes, it is indeed. And Williams' fort, I think, is his outstanding quickness off the ball.
And he had knee surgery in 1978. It's pretty difficult for a guy to come back and be shifty the year after knee surgery.
Jefferson in motion, 3rd down and 5. Over the middle, Williams to the 5-yard line. An excellent catch by Clarence Williams, and Fouts threw it right where he had to. Right in the seam of the zone. Gradishar made the stop.
And that's one of the things about the San Diego offense that I like and like a great deal. They will throw it to anybody. Backs out of the backfield, wide receivers, tight ends, and he is an excellent receiver. That's why he's starting ahead of Lydell Mitchell, who was only last year carried the ball for 244 times, 820 yards, and caught 57 passes. And here Clarence Williams, that's why he's keeping him out of the lineup.
Tom Jackson, we understand, has a bruise under his right eye. He will be back. 1st and goal, San Diego at the 5. Fouts is 7 out of 9 throwing it now. Hank Bauer, no, to about the 3-yard line. He is an inspirational ball of fire. Number 37, Hank Bauer, 5'11", 200 pounds, a 3rd-year pro out of Cal Lutheran, carried the football.
He is also a short yardage specialist for the San Diego Chargers.
And he was stopped by Louis Wright.
Who will stop anybody.
Almost on every down now, Bob. Miller is substituting one or two people, making it extremely difficult for our spotters and the San Diego Chargers. Second down and goal at the 3. Bauer and Williams in the setback. That's Williams. He lost yardage. Just a great defensive struggle by the entire left side of the defensive line of Denver. Chavis was there, Evans, Swenson, and we'll have to see where they spot the football, but somebody is still down for Denver also, and they call for some help on the field. Get the glasses down there. He is laying face down. It's scoreless. We'll return to this drive by San Diego and great scoring threat. It'll be third down and goal when we come back. Third down and 4. Denver apparently looking for a pass here.
And I would expect Dan Fouts to call a draw play right here because they are looking for the pass, Denver is.
Look at them spread out across the field. 4 linebackers, Fouts on the quarterback. Oh, they got him!
Gradishaw. What a play!
San Diego came out in an offense that spread the defense of Denver from sideline to sideline, and Fouts had him on the quarterback draw, but Gradishaw was not fooled.
This is a heck of a play by Randy Gradishaw. He's got pass coverage on one of the backs out of the backfield, but I think Danny Fouts is too quick in declaring what he's going to do. You see Gradishaw on the read. What a play. What a big play for a guy who wasn't supposed to start.
And so the former Pittsburgh Steeler, Roy Girella, will attempt a 23-yard field goal. He is 1 for 2 as a San Diego Charger. Fuller will hold. The kick is blocked. A flag is down. Denver has blocked the field goal attempt, but a flag is down.
Sam, that ball didn't get more than 6 feet off the ground. And it appears to be on Denver. Offsides, Denver.
What a great break for San Diego. That will give them third down again, half the distance to the goal line, and they'll move it to about the 2-yard line. I beg your pardon, it'll be fourth down again. And they'll have the option of whether to go now for the 6 points or let Girella have another crack. What would you do, Robert?
I'd go for the 3 points. No way would I go for the touchdown. 3 points ahead right now with the way that Jeff West is punting the football. I got to go for it.
And so it's offsides against Denver. And now Girella will have an attempt of 20 yards out of the Fuller hole.
Talked to Roy Girella before the ball game. He, of course, is replacing Ralph Penerska, who was out with stomach surgery. And Roy Girella was out-kicked by about 7 or 8 different people before he got the job here in San Diego. He may get another chance to try somewhere else.
So the Chargers have missed a golden scoring opportunity. Sam Nover, Bob Trumpy back in Denver. It's scoreless.
Sam, you talk about momentum switching from side to side. San Diego had the ball for 7 minutes and 58 seconds. That drive started from their own 20, but they get no points. That's going to help Denver.
Norris Weiss now at his 20-yard line. Splits both receivers out left and gives it to Otis Armstrong. Breaks into the open to the 25 and brought down to the 27 by Woody Lowe, the linebacker. Let's quickly run some scores down. Dallas has gone on top of Minnesota. Tony Dorsett. A touchdown run, 10-7 Cowboys. Baltimore now leads the Jets 10-0. That's a first quarter score. Houston and the Cardinals tied at 17 midway through the fourth quarter. And the Rams in New Orleans are 7-7. Wendell Tyler, a 5-yard run, that game at the Superdome in New Orleans. And Pittsburgh leads Cleveland 27-0. Bradshaw has thrown for 3 touchdowns. And Franco Harris has run 71 yards for another score.
Philadelphia just made a man last week, Sam.
They got their act together. Second down and 3, play action. Weiss throws it out here to Rob Lytle, and he couldn't hold on. And Bob, I think the criticism that you had of Norris Weiss earlier really applies there. He floats the football. He doesn't have the strong arm, and it gave the defensive back a chance to come up and really give Lytle a hit.
And Sam, I'm going to go out on the limb when you talk about designated quarterbacks for start and finish of the game. I don't think that's good football. If Craig Morton has problems with mobility, then you got to set the offense around the guy that can throw the ball the best. You're not going to win football games, 16 of them in the NFL, with a quarterback who is just on the field because he's more mobile than the guy that can throw it the best. That's the man I'd have on the field 4 quarters a game.
And you can address your letters to Bob Trumpy, care of NBC.
No, don't do that.
3rd down and 3 now for Norris Weiss. Dumps it over the middle. Look at that hit on Otis Armstrong. Just an outstanding tackle by Woody Lowe. And that probably brings to 5 now the total of great hits by the Chargers that have jarred the ball loose from Denver receivers.
I expect to see Craig Morton in a hurry here because San Diego is waiting for the Denver receivers, and they got to have a quarterback that can zip the ball in. Here we go with Prestridge on his 56-yard punting average. See if he can up that a little bit.
It's going to be a little bit more difficult. He's kicking into a 16-mile-an-hour wind. That's what he did his first 3 times. I guarantee he will not do it this time. The wind is very, very strong in his face. Mike Fuller in single safety at his 35-yard line. Prestridge, an excellent punt nonetheless, drives Fuller back to the 20. I may have to eat my words. They got him back to the 20-yard line.
Great coverage.
And a super punt by Prestridge. This kid is for real. 53 yards. I apologize to the rookie from Baylor. He almost made his average, and Glenn Hyde was down there, the former Pitt star, to make the tackle. Don't forget that next Sunday there's another outstanding lineup of exciting NFL action on NBC. We begin at 12:30 Eastern Time with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle. A look at the Wild West football Canadian style in Calgary. Then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the high-powered Patriots and the Bears with Walter Payton. Other important games, Buffalo, Miami, the Seahawks and the Chargers, and Denver and the surprising Chiefs. All on NBC next Sunday afternoon. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Charlie Joyner.
Drop passes everywhere, and I played for 4 years with Charlie Joyner, and I want to tell you, he is one of the most consistent receivers there is in the game today. This is all on Charlie Joyner. Dan Fouts rifles it in there. Should have been caught. Should have been caught. Sam, most professional quarterbacks will tell you get 6 chances a game to score. San Diego just missed 1. They got 5 left.
And they have a 2nd down at their own 20. Fouts starting to put the ball up a little bit more frequently. Artie Owens, number 24. Clarence Williams, number 40, the setback. We still have not seen Lydell Mitchell. And we were told he would play today and play often. Fouts, Joyner, same play. This time he holds on at the 35. He runs right into Joe Rizzo, the linebacker, but not before he got a San Diego 1st down. And I love Fouts coming back with the same play.
Absolutely. That was a delay pass to Charlie Joyner. Artie Owens comes underneath. Oh, that's a fine catch. That's good concentration on the football, and he made up for the one he dropped.
Let me tell you something about Danny Fouts. I saw his debut in the National Football League in 1973. He came in the 2nd half at Pittsburgh, trailing 38-0. All he did was put 3 touchdowns on the board, 2 for 1, went 11 out of 21 for 180 yards, and you knew he was going to be a player. Clarence Williams gets almost to the 40-yard line on 1st down. And that would be a win in anybody's book. Getting 4 yards or more, Reuben Carter gets off the bottom of the pile to make the stop. 7:59 on a turning clock to go in the 1st half. A very rapid 1st half, basically because there's been a lot of running and no scoring. It is scoreless, in fact, if for any reason you just joined us. 75,101 in Mile High Stadium for the 68th consecutive time. The entire decade of the 70s, there has been nothing but sellouts here in Denver. Williams on the draw, nothing doing.
Travis Sharp again. And Denver is going a lot more to the 4-man line. They have not been able to get to the quarterback with great consistency this year. Last year they had 30 sacks. This year they only have 6, so they're going with 4 defensive linemen. But there is a guy out of Ohio State that can play football, called the premier in professional, the premier middle linebacker in professional football, and for good reason. Look at the cast on his left hand there to protect it. He's not going to catch many, but he'll stop a lot of them.
Third down and 6 for San Diego. Jefferson in motion. Hasn't caught a pass today, I don't believe. Fouts dumps it off to Williams, and he dives for the first down. I believe he got it. In the grasp of number 40, Charlie West, who's had to replace the injured Bill Thompson here at strong safety. And West hanging on for dear life. I think Williams got the first down.
First down.
Now Thompson comes back in the ballgame.
Sam, I think you're seeing why Dan Fouts has got such a high completion percentage, and that is he's not afraid to throw to the backs out in the flat. A lot of people say that's not very good football, but you are making Denver's defense make the tackle. If they miss one, Clarence Williams has got 40 yards.
Got a brief shot at Don Coryell, the San Diego head coach, as Artie Owens goes in motion. First down. Bounce over the middle. He's got his big tight end, Kellen Winslow, for 10 yards. He is an incredible specimen, 6'3 and a half, 252 out of Missouri. San Diego traded #1 draft choices. You know the story very well in San Diego, but for the rest of you around the country watching and you don't know, they traded up 7 spots with Cleveland to get Winslow.
Now what they're doing here is they're putting a running back in motion. It was Artie Owens this time, and that singles up Kellen Winslow on a free safety. Bernard Jackson, who is not used to covering anybody man-to-man because he is back there playing center field, and they're going to be able to do that all day, and until Denver stops it, they will do it all day.
You know that Winslow wasn't a bad discus thrower back at East St. Louis, Illinois High School?
Yeah, let me tell you one other thing, Sam. Somebody asked him, he appeared to have very good hands, and he says, I have soft hands. And the guy said, well, why do you have such soft hands? And he says, because my mother made me do dishes.
I love it.
So it's 6'5", 250. He knows who's boss.
And who's going to dispute his macho image for washing dishes, huh?
That's right. Mr. Winslow is a large fellow.
Wendell Tyler has scored again. The Rams now lead New Orleans 14-7 midway through the second quarter. Here, it's second down, less than a yard, San Diego on the march again. Williams diving for the first down to the 41. And San Diego starting to move into scoring position for the second time today. They had it. First and goal at the 5-yard line earlier in this quarter. Could not score. And they're moving again.
Watch the noseman here, Don Latimer. That's the secret to that 34 defense. That guy has got to control the offensive center, Don Masick of San Diego, but the whole San Diego offensive line, Wilkerson, Shields, Ed White, Russ Washington. A lot of experience, large in size, and very strong.
There's a bigger man than Russ Washington, 6'7", 288. I want to see him. There is Milton Hardaway, but he's on injured reserve. Breaking tackles, Artie Owens dives to the 30-yard line. Out of West Virginia, Artie Owens running for what appears to be another San Diego first down. Tackle made by number 59, Joe Rizzo, the inside linebacker. But Fouts now mixing the pass and the run very effectively.
Exactly, Sam. And when you talk about Artie Owens, you look at the backfield of the San Diego Chargers. Lydell Mitchell, Artie Owens, Mike Thomas.
And you can toss in Bo Matthews because he's in there now.
And Don Woods, who was the Rookie of the Year in 1974 for the San Diego Chargers, gained 1,000 yards.
Matthews coming home to Colorado, gets the football. He starred with the Buffaloes 6 years ago. And he gets a couple of yards inside the 30 to the 28. Latimer again making the stop. Now, I got to tell you something honestly. Coming over here this morning, I turned to Trumpy in the cab and I said, why does Denver's Red Miller substitute so frequently? And your answer to me was?
Well, it's not a very good answer, but he thinks that the altitude has an effect on his players, and when he runs them in and out, it keeps them fresher. I don't agree whatsoever. If San Diego's playing with the same guys, why can't Denver? They practice it.
I would think you'd lose the continuity of your defense.
I agree totally.
Fouts throws it down here for J.J. Oh, just off his fingertips. And I believe even if he had caught it, he would have been out of the field of play, but a great effort by Jefferson.
This young man in his second year last year, 56 catches, 1,001 yards, probably the most 13 touchdowns, probably the most acrobatic receiver in professional football today. Great speed, long strides, and it's tough to concentrate on a football when you're running full blast. You got to keep your head still. Look how still his head is. And he's trying to stay inbounds and catch the ball too, and it's just impossible to do.
And let me tell you, when Louis Wright was quoted as saying that Jefferson is the third best receiver in the league, he knew what he was talking about because J.J. beat him clean on that particular pattern.
And not many people do that that to Louis Wright.
3rd down and 7. Big play. 3.5 minutes left in the half. He throws it into a crowd. It's incomplete. Almost intercepted. He tried to set up the screen, I believe, to his running back, Bo Matthews. He never got the football to him. Gradishar may have knocked him down. Fouts is now 10 out of 15 for 108 yards, but he hasn't put any points on the board.
And I do think the San Diego coaching staff showing a great deal of confidence in Roy Girella. He missed a 20-yard field goal. Now he's going to try for a 25, 35, 45-yard field goal.
Let me tell you, watch the snap from center from Ralph Beretta. Our spotter, Al King, pointed out the first two were badly snapped. They were high floaters.
That's a good one.
A little better. Girella's got it on its way. Oh! No good!
That's two they've missed. They got 4 left.
Well, that's maybe the reason why he was cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's had 1 block and he's missed 2. A half by Denver thus far, other than the punting of their great young rookie, Luke Prestridge. He's been their biggest offense.
But, Sam, I repeat once again, this is all fine and dandy. They are not going to win a football game with a quarterback who scrambles for yardage time and time again. Everybody is covered downfield. He is not giving his receivers time to work against that zone that San Diego is running. And if he doesn't get hurt like that,
Scores and highlights of all the games around the National Football League. NFL 79 at halftime with Bryant, Gumbel, Mike Adamle. Weeks lost the ball. Lost it again, and San Diego's got it, I believe. He lost it twice, and the second time was fatal. At the 45, the Chargers have it.
Woody Lowe got it. Weiss is saying that I was going forward with the football, but he made a mistake of picking it up himself.
He's got to be a frustrated young man. Let me give you a tease on some scores as you look at Weiss again. Let's hold off for 1 second. Go ahead, Bob.
When he goes back, he's going to pump here. I wonder what size hand this young man has, because he cannot really... There you go. You see it bounces out of his hand, a la Terry Bradshaw a few years ago, and he misses it again. He's frustrated out there. There's no doubt about that, Sam, as you said.
4th quarter, Cardinals have gone on top of Houston 24-17. Dallas leads Minnesota 17-7 nearing the end of the half. Cleveland has scored 27-7. The Steelers lead the Browns. First down, Fouts with a great opportunity to get something on the board before halftime. The pass to Williams. I started to say the Denver defense has been nothing shy of outstanding. Let us pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KOA TV for Denver.
Sam Nover, Bob Trumpy, we're at Mile High Stadium. We're delighted to have you with us. We build this game as potentially an outstanding offensive show, but it has not been that, as the score would indicate.
2 minutes left in the second period, Sam, and San Diego has 170 yards total offense. Denver 70, no score. San Diego driving again. There's Dan Fouts talking to Jim Hannafin, the assistant head coach. Don Coryell on the right, Hannafin with the headset on, trying to figure out exactly what they want to do here with 2 minutes left in the first half, no score. I'd throw it to JJ every time.
Second down, 3 San Diego at the Denver 38-yard line. Fouts throws it down here, and nobody's there. Jefferson may have run the wrong pattern. Or maybe Joyner did not get to where he was supposed to be. The ball was not within 15 yards of anybody.
Sam, I think it was Kellen Winslow who was supposed to be down the middle. They were clearing out on both sides. Winslow, I do believe, was the primary receiver. And with a young guy, you're going to miss a couple of assignments. Ran into some traffic across the line of scrimmage. Denver's linebackers are really tough on tight ends once they get 5 or 6 yards down the field. Just a note for you, Denver's leading rusher is Norris Weiss. 4 carries, 38 yards.
And incidentally, Barney Chavis really gave Fouts a rap after he delivered the football. Danny is now 11 out of 17, 115 yards. Third down, 3. They got to think about the first down before they think of the touchdown. They did not. They're going for all of it to Joyner, and he just couldn't get there. He had the single coverage. A flag is down back in the backfield of San Diego.
Holding on San Diego, but you'll see the pattern by Chuck. Goes down, gives a little outside fake, and goes Foley, and he was open. The quarterback's supposed to get it there when you beat him by that much.
By the offense, number 70. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the holding call against Russ Washington declined by Denver. It'll be 4th down, and Jeff West is on to punt it with 1:49 to go first half.
I would imagine Denver will keep their defense in here thinking that something funny might happen.
Well, Bill Thompson has gone back in single safety. They don't even have Upchurch on the field here. So they're thinking defense, get the football safely here. Let's see what happens. It is a scoreless football game at Mile High in Denver. West trying to float it and drop it inside the 20 if he can. But it takes a Denver bounce into the end zone, and the Broncos will have it at their 20-yard line after the touchback. So with 1:39 to go, a punt of 38 yards by West. He's done his job today. No complaints from the special teams on either side. It's been a great defensive battle. Armstrong get the first down, and now Denver calls for a timeout with 47 seconds to go. They did not stop the clock after Jensen picked up 5, but now Weiss, in a little bit better field position, Bob, calls for the timeout.
Yes, and I wonder why Red Miller doesn't use Otis Armstrong a lot more. He is not happy with this situation. He wants to play more.
Hey, don't forget, Sports World, new day during football season, Saturdays on NBC, 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Saturday the 20th. You will see two of the hardest hitters in boxing toe-to-toe, the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World, live from Pretoria, South Africa. It'll be undefeated John Tate squaring off against undefeated Jerry Coetzee, followed by, if time permits, the legends of bowling, plus if time permits again, a celebrity bowling tournament with people like Franco Harris and Gabe Kaplan. All this and more on the October 20th edition of NBC's Sports World. Remember, it's on Saturdays during the football season. What's Weiss going to do, Star?
Well, I think they'll keep running it. I think they're foolish to throw the football. Or I shouldn't say foolish. I think Red Miller's conservatism will keep them running the football, keep giving it to Otis Armstrong. Go in. I mean, they've dodged 2 bullets. They got to be happy with the way they're playing offensively and defensively. They've got to be happy with a 0-0 tie at halftime.
Dallas blowing out Minnesota, the Twin Cities, 23-7. Dorsett, 2 touchdowns. Benny Barnes, 33-yard run with a fumble recovery. All of them coming up. Scores and highlights at halftime with Bryant and Mike. Quarterback draw. And Weiss didn't fool many people at all as he gets into about the 43-yard line. You can't fool Bobby Horn, the 4-year veteran out of Oregon State. He is underpublicized, but developing into one of the best linebackers in the middle in all of the NFL. Now the hurry-up offense. Weiss to throw it. 2nd and 5. Throws it out here to Riley Odoms, his first catch of the day, and he kills the clock at the 49 of Denver.
That man, to me, is the secret to Denver winning the football game today. Riley Odoms down the middle. He's playing on a 5'9", 180-pound strong safety, Mike Fuller. Now, Fuller's got a lot of guts, but just because of the size difference, he's going to be open a lot. They've got to throw the ball to him a bunch.
He is the second leading receiver in Denver history. 4th in touchdown catches with 29. And I believe his string of completions, catching 1 pass in a game, has gone to 44 now. Wiley Odoms. Weiss going to run again. No, now dumps it off to Armstrong at the 40-yard line, but a big hit from number 29, Mike Williams, the right cornerback. And Denver uses its 2nd timeout of the half. The ball at about the 41-yard line of San Diego. More importantly, there's only 13 seconds to go in the first half, and we'll return to Mile High Stadium right after these messages. Preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League, and we thank that gentleman in the background, number 14, Dan Fouts.
5 people could hide behind Louis Kelcher, and we'd have trouble seeing him.
Let me take back what I said about Riley Odoms. His streak ended 2 games ago. Upchurch. Out of bounds, killing the clock. He got the first down at the 35-yard line. San Diego will give them that pass for the balance of the half. You can rest assured there's only 8 seconds left.
Okay, I'm not sure what they can do here. We practiced when I played that you need 6 seconds in order to get the field goal team on. So that means that they're going to have to throw the ball to the outside all the time, the outside, or have them run. They have one timeout left. They have to get the ball out of bounds. I would imagine they will not try for the end zone, just get Jim Turner's range.
Weiss, they got him. Flag is down. He's also down at the 45. A penalty marker at about the 43-yard line. That usually indicates holding, as you know by now.
I think that was stuttered on Dean. Dean just ran around it.
15 and a half sacks last year for mean Freddie Dean. And he's up to his old shenanigans again here today. He's just an outstanding pass rusher.
And Sam, I want to tell you, this guy plays defensive end in the NFL, and he does not weigh 225 pounds. He does it all with speed. And in defense of young Dave Studdard, this is his first year of starting, holding, decline, couldn't read his lips. There he is. That guy can run around anybody in professional football.
I would imagine he reminds a lot of people of L.C. Greenwood in Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Kind of like Deacon Jones used to be for the Los Angeles Rams, an outside pass rusher with great speed.
Would you say this is the prayer play with 3 seconds left in the half?
Desperation, yes.
Norris Weiss on 1st and 17, but the clock is the factor here with 3 seconds left in the half. It is scoreless. Denver, San Diego. The Broncos 3-2 must win here to remain, or I should say to tie for first in the AFC West. A San Diego win will open up a 2-game bulge for the Chargers. Weiss's prayer down the middle. Bounces harmlessly at the 10. The half has come to an end. It was intended for Haven Moses. We have played a scoreless first half. How about that?
We have?
Well, the players on the field.
Oh.
We'll be back in a moment.
That was past week.
And the Broncos, as we indicated, playing inspired football, but they haven't been able to put any points on the board. Artie Owens gets it back to about the 17-yard line. He is one of the better kick return men in the National Football League. Number 24, Artie Owens of San Diego, stopped there by Jim Ryan, number 50. And so San Diego goes on the offense to begin the third quarter. There is no score in the football game. Roy Girella has missed 2 field goal attempts. A third has been blocked. The Chargers have not scored from 1st and goal at the 5. They have had all of the opportunities, but Denver has played some outstanding defense. Right to the air for Fouts. Over the middle and just out of the hands of Charlie Joyner. Well, the statistics, it was Jefferson and not Joyner. The stats tell a big story in every football game, and this one is no different.
Look at the total yardage between the two teams. 166 for the San Diego Chargers. Only 97 net yards for the Denver Broncos. Time of possession also very telling. And third down efficiency, 1 for 5 for Denver, 20%. 5 for 10 for the Chargers, 50%.
Second down, 10 for Fouts. Thomas, 22. Clarence Williams, 40 are the setbacks. That's Thomas. Pushed back by Reuben Carter. Let's check whether or not Tom Jackson has returned to the lineup. Number 57, the all-pro outside linebacker who suffered a bruise under his right eye in the first half. I don't believe he's in there.
I do not see him.
Larry Evans, 56, is there.
Gradishar is back in the lineup.
Gradishar is back, having undergone surgery earlier this week on his ring finger. He has played a very inspired football game. Number 53 is not in there at the moment, I don't believe.
Jackson is in the game. Larry Evans is in, replacing Randy Gradishar.
All right, you got it now. Thomas in motion.
Joyner.
He's got him at the 30. First down. Upset there by Steve Foley. But since you had him in the open trumpet, you take the replay.
Okay, the same thing they did the first half, Sam. They're running a running back in motion. That takes a linebacker with him, and that means there's no underneath coverage under Charlie Joyner. Fouts puts a little steam on this one. Joyner with a good catch, concentration on the ball, Foley on the tackle. They have been able to do that in the first half, and until Denver stops them, they'll continue to do it in the second half.
Nice third down conversion for Danny Fouts. 30-yard line of San Diego. The lone split receiver is John Jefferson, 83. First back is Williams to about the 32-yard line. See who gets up off the bottom. Number 59, Joe Rizzo, the inside linebacker, is the man who made the stop. gained a very short yardage. Williams has not had a Clarence Williams day.
No, but the Denver defense has allowed just 98 yards per game rushing. They are not going to get a lot of yards, but San Diego is more than happy to plunk it in there for 2 or 3 times in each situation and then throw it, and they seem to be able to complete the passes at will.
Broncos #1 against the rush in the AFC.
Watch for Joyner here. Here comes the same formation.
Artie Owens in motion. He dumps it off to Williams. 35, 40-yard line. Should be another San Diego first down. Larry Evans was there, and so was Bernard Jackson, the free safety, but not before Clarence Williams got a first down.
And that is the same situation, Sam. Owens in motion. Dan Fouts is taking advantage of single coverage on motion out of the backfield.
Okay, you've been the offensive genius. You told us why Fouts is doing what he's doing. How can Denver stop it?
Blitz. Begin to blitz right now. They got to reestablish that they're a defensive football team that can stop them by the pass.
Fouts has all day to his tight end, Bob Klein. He overthrew everybody. In fact, Bill Thompson had a good crack at it. I don't think he was looking that way. He had his eyes on Klein, cutting over the middle. A flag is down. It's against San Diego, and I believe it is holding. That's the fastest way to slow down an offensive drive.
Other than blitzing, I believe you're right.
Are you going to get your blitz in there one way or another?
Well, I do think, here's the call.
Red Cashin, the referee.
Holding, number 70 on the offense, still first down.
That's twice Russ Washington has been caught holding. He did it to end the first half. So the line of scrimmage now becomes the San Diego 30-yard line in a scoreless ball game, and Fouts is confronted with 1st and 20.
The Broncos have to get a turnover. That's why they have to go to the blitz. Their defense makes their offense go with good field position. They got to get the ball. Here we go again.
And they have had only 3 interceptions this entire season. He dumps it off to Clarence Williams. 30, 35. Down he goes.
Thompson
runs into Fouts and out of bounds to the 10-yard line. The break that Denver has been looking for.
And Winslow is hurt, and that's what Denver feeds on.
Kellen Winslow is down at the 38-yard line of San Diego. The outstanding rookie from Missouri, but you're looking at the hero thus far.
There's Billy Thompson on the pickup, and for years the Denver defense has done this, and now you'll see an entirely different Denver Bronco offense. They'll be a lot more flashy, they'll do a lot more things, a lot less conservative.
You are very prophetic. You called for the turnover, Bobby, and you got it. We'll be right back. Back in Denver, Sam Nover, Bob Trumpy, and they are helping Kellen Winslow across the field. He was down during that entire timeout, and it's very difficult to tell what the injury might have been.
Well, with the way he has his hand supporting his shoulder, it does appear to be some sort of a shoulder injury, Sam. We'll find out if we are, in fact, doctors from up here. We'll hear from the bench.
Barney Chavis forced the fumble. Bill Thompson picked up the loose ball and raced 26 yards to the San Diego 11-yard line.
Now you may see anything. Rick Upchurch on a reverse. All kinds of things from the Denver offense.
We will still see Norris Reese at quarterback, however. Craig Morton threw before the 3rd quarter. He has still not played in the game. First down, Denver. Reese on a broken play to the 3-yard line. Fumbles the ball, and Denver got it back. Wow!
Just the way you draw it up, Sam. Absolutely the way you draw it up. He missed the handoff, I believe, to Jensen up through the middle. Watch this. Oh, the pulling guard, 62, hits him. Tom Glassick knocks it out of his hand. And he does a one-point landing on the point of his head. Denver ball.
Glenn Edwards forced the second loose ball, and somebody was there. I still haven't discovered who recovered it. There's the ball again going down. Whoever it was saved the day for Denver. Second down at the 3. Reese bootlegging the ball. Touchdown, Denver.
Here's the play again, and this is so characteristic of the Denver offense. They gain a total of 9 yards and come up with a touchdown. That's how Denver got to the Super Bowl. that Super Bowl 12 with their defense constantly turning the ball over inside the opponent's 20-yard line.
Paul Howard, number 60, led the way for Weiss. He escorted him into the end zone untouched. Jim Turner will try to make it 7-0 Denver. Perfect. So as Bob Trumpy has so aptly described, the defense sets the offense up for the touchdown, and they get it. 7-0 Denver. So it's 7-0 Denver here in the Mile High City. Here's another final. St. Louis has beaten Houston 24-17. Cardinals an upset. Artie Owens at the 10. 25, and down he goes as he reaches the 27, and a flag down at the 30-yard line of San Diego. Chargers trailing 7-0. The man who scored the touchdown, just an old bootleg, and he fooled our cameraman, at least one of them.
And that's the third touchdown run by Norris Weiss this season. On his hip, Paul Howard, his personal escort, and quite frankly, there's nobody but the tuba player and Mike Williams to stop him. Excuse me, that's Willie Buchanan to stop him. So it's not much of a run.
Penalty is against San Diego. Here's referee Red Cashin.
Holding by the receivers during the run back, number 45.
Holding.
First down.
Here's some other partials. Almost to the half. Pittsburgh 30, Cleveland 14. Baltimore leads the Jets 10-3 at the half. The Rams 28-7. Pat Hayden 2 touchdown passes. Wendell Tyler 2 runs. The Rams romping over New Orleans. Clarence Williams trying to get outside, and he reaches the 20-yard line. One other partial, Dallas 23, Minnesota 10, a minute 50 to go, second quarter.
Okay, Sam, I've yet to win a football game as a head coach in professional football. I'll tell you what I think San Diego's got to do, and that is extreme patience. They cannot get excited simply because Denver has scored 7 points on them. They have a very good offensive football team. Stay with the things that work. Don't get fancy yet. There's still 10:24 left to go in the third quarter. Stay with your game plan.
That scoring drive of 9 yards. Weiss with a 3-yard run. Fouts with all day. Throws it down here, and it's caught by his tight end, Bob Klein. The 11-year veteran out of Southern Cal, but the important thing there is that Fouts had all day to throw the football.
And one of the valuable things about an experienced tight end like Bob Klein is that he knows that if he's the third or fourth receiver, he's still got a chance to catch the football. Coverage by Swenson. He goes down, keeps his eye on Dan Fouts, moving around, making sure that he's open, and he's there when Fouts needs him. Nice catch for a first down. I'm telling you, those people who wear 84 can catch the football. They really can.
Who wore number 84 that you know?
Well, I know one guy that wore it for Cincinnati. Never got a 30 in 10 years.
Trumpy. Your Bengals lost today. You know that, don't you?
My Bengals.
Boats throws it over here, and it's caught again by Klein at the 30-yard line. Very, very short yardage gain on first down. Stopped by Bill Thompson. Yes, your Cincinnati Bengals. You haven't divorced yourself yet, have you?
No, they've divorced me, though. Anyway, same formation using the same motion out of the backfield. And Denver is yet to really adjust to this entire offensive set by the San Diego Chargers. And they have to do something. Chargers are staying with their offensive game plan. You can't panic yet. No word yet on Kellen Winslow and his shoulder injury either.
Well, this team has played very, very well under Don Coryell. They won 8 and lost 4 to finish off the 1978 season, including 7 of their last 8, and they're 4-1 this year. Over the middle, he's got Jefferson, a brilliant catch in front of Louis Wright. What an outstanding catch by John Jefferson right on the 50-yard line. And that is another San Diego first down, and Fouts has him moving again.
From in tight, he's got Louis Wright in single coverage, and most teams avoid Louis Wright like the plague. San Diego's not afraid of it. Fine catch, good concentration on the football, and Dan Fouts threw that right on the money. That is not an easy throw to get in there.
56 catches for John Jefferson in his rookie year. He's out now, and Greg McCrary, a tight end, number 88, is in there on first down and 10, right on the 50. 2 tight ends, play action for Fouts. All day again. Look at the protection he's got. Williams spins to the 43-yard line, knocked down by Tommy Jackson, but not before he got 7 yards. And the interesting thing is that Fouts is throwing in run situations and running in throwing situations.
They're using the same offensive lineup that Oakland used last week to beat the Denver Broncos. That 2 tight end offense. They think they're just as versatile out of that 2 tight end offense with McCrary and Bob Klein and one receiver, that receiver being Charlie Joyner, and it might do something psychologically to the Denver defense, and I'm surprised Denver hasn't gone to the four-man defensive line against it.
Well, they stay in the 3-4 on second down and 3, and Joyner comes wide right. McCrary is split out wide to the left. Throw it again. Throws the home run ball, and nobody was hit. Now, there's got to be something wrong there when he overthrows his receiver by 15 yards, and that is twice that Fouts has had nobody in the area that he threw the football.
I'll tell you what, Sam, I think he misread his key. That was the total zone coverage, and I do think he was just overthrowing it to make sure nobody else got it. Kellen Winslow is back. Watch, see him look around. I think he knows he's got nobody open. He knows how to read defenses, but I think he missed his key, and Charlie Joyner was the second or third receiver, so he just threw it over everybody's head.
Well, while we're guessing, I'll disagree. I choose to believe on both occasions his receivers did not run the patterns he expected. Not bad stats, but he hasn't got a point to show for it. 7-0 Denver. 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Fumble! I think San Diego got it back again. But it's fourth down. That's almost as important as a Denver recovery.
That's 3 drives stopped without a point. Randy Gradishar once again in the middle. Here he is. You see the cast on his left hand, reading the quarterback on a blitz. Kind of disrupted things in there. Got to Clarence Williams the same time the ball did. And Fouts made a very important fumble recovery here. Now it's up to West to get it inside the 5.
And he's kicking to Rick Upchurch, who has not busted one yet today. But you never know what's going to come from him. He is such a brilliant return specialist.
And he's going to return this one.
From his 7. Down he goes at the 17-yard line. So even when he's hemmed in, he gets 10 yards on the return. Denver starts deep in its own territory. 42 yards on the punt, 11 on the return. Not only protecting a 7-0 lead, which is silly to try to protect at this stage of the game, but deep in its own territory, not wanting to give it up.
Sam, there's nothing wrong with being conservative on offense, but it is too obvious to the other teams that they play that they're not going to do anything very fancy. All San Diego has to do is stay in their pass rush lanes, and they're not going to allow Denver a lot of yards. 3rd and 7.
Right on the 20-yard line for Norris Reese. Quick pitch to Larry Canada. Gets outside, and he's out of bounds. He got to the 25-yard line when Fuller gave him a good bump. I thought he had the first down easily. Now I don't believe he got it. The spot.
They got it. Nope. He got it.
Okay, they say that he did indeed. He seemed to be flying by the marker when Fuller approached him and bumped him out of bounds, but they gave him enough yardage downfield, and so Denver on a big third down conversion there.
And Canada out. John Keyworth in with the play from Red Miller.
Keyworth has a good buddy sitting on the other side of the field. Played in the same backfield with San Diego's Bo Matthews, right here at the University of Colorado. First down for Denver, leading 7-0 on a moving clock. Keyworth loses a yard. Freddie Dean, 71, was there. So was Gary Big Hands Johnson. Minnesota coming back slowly but surely against Dallas. Rick Danmeyer has kicked field goals at 28 and 34 yards. It's the Cowboys 23 and the Vikes 13.
Guess what Gary Big Hands Johnson's wife's name?
Little Hands.
How about his baby?
Tiny Hands.
Well, I can't tell you a thing.
Hate a show off, don't you?
Especially one your size.
Let me have my day in the sun. Now why? Reese didn't like what he saw?
Well, if you're confused, go to the sideline, because that's the man that's got it in control, Red Miller.
Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy were back in Denver, where it's second down and 10 now. Weiss has had a conference with his head coach, Red Miller. And let's see what came out of that. What would you do, Bob, at the 26 on second and 10? You'd like to fool him a little bit, I know.
Yeah, armchair quarterback. I'd look for a screen to Rick Upchurch. It's a play they've used and used effectively throughout the season. I'd try to get it out to Upchurch and let him run down the sideline with it.
You're on the record. Play action for Weiss. Looking for Haven Moses. Oh, my goodness, he's got the screen. To the 30-yard line, and that's it. Jim Jensen, you had the right play, the wrong man, and I dare say if it had been Upchurch and not Jensen, he might have been able to get some yardage over there.
I'll settle for that. I'll settle for that. I think that's a good conservative play. Very little chance that San Diego is going to come up and make a big play on it. I didn't really care for the rollout, though. When you throw the ball east and west across the football field, somebody from the other team can go north and south with it.
The only problem is they only gained 3 yards. It was not an effective play, despite all the guessing.
I'll be very honest with you. I come back with the same play.
3rd down and a long 6 for Denver. Possession play. They lead it 7-0. 3:45 to go, 3rd quarter. Pressure on Reese. Down he goes. He was in the grasp of number 71, Freddie Dean. That's his 3rd sack of the day. And of course, the new rule this year, when the quarterback is in the grasp of the defensive player, the whistle blows. And so he didn't have to go down.
And you know what, Sam? San Diego has not had a lot of sacks. They've had timely sacks. Here's Rick Upchurch. I try to get the ball to him all I could, and he does appear to be open. Norris Weiss is a little jumpy back there in the quarterback spots. You got to hang on to it a little longer and look at your receivers instead of the guys rushing at you.
Here's Prestridge, who's averaged 55 a pop today. That's his worst punt. Good bounce, however. Inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line, and Denver will let it roll dead. So there's no return on the punt by Luke Prestridge, a punt of 42 yards. Don't forget, the next Sunday, another outstanding lineup of exciting NFL action on NBC. It all begins with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle, NFL 79, 12:30 Eastern. A look at Canadian-style football in Calgary. And then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the Patriots and the Bears of Walter Payton, who beat Buffalo today 7-0. Also, we'll cover the Buffalo-Miami game, the Seahawks and the Chargers, Denver and the Chiefs, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. That's where Bob Trumpy and I will be. Bounce on 1st down. Sideliner to Joyner, out of bounds, but he got the 1st down. Well, they say he didn't get out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Joyner covered there by Louis Wright, but it's a San Diego 1st down.
Good percentage pass by San Diego. Time pattern. Fouts was reading the strong safeties rotation, went away from the rotation, knowing that Foley would be playing deep. Easy reception for Charlie Joyner.
I got a big question for you coming out of this play, Trumpy. Get yourself ready.
Well, I'll try, Coach.
Jefferson goes wide left on 1st down. Joyner to the right. Fumble! Pile up right on the 45, and I think San Diego got it back again. Fouts has done that twice now in the last couple of series. 3 fumbles on the day for the Chargers. 2/3 of them they have recovered. Here's the question. Denver has played outstanding football. They have kept their offense in this ball game. In fact, they're directly accountable for the 7-0 lead. Do they miss Lyle Alzado playing this well?
Yes, I do believe they do. They have not really gotten to the quarterback yet today. And as I said, Denver's defense is a turnover type of defense. The entire football team relies on the defense to get the football back for them, the defense to get the football back for them so that the offense has only 20 yards to go. That's the way they've made their living.
They have a 4-man front here on 2nd down and 10. Chavis, Carter, Grant, and Lafleur. Fouts over the middle, intercepted. Thompson has it. Laterals. Bernard Jackson into San Diego territory and out of bounds.
Dan Fouts forced this football in. Winslow on the pattern. Obviously his shoulder's not hurt. He is covered by Swenson and covered well. Fouts tried to get it in there. Thompson on a good interception. And then the rest is, I suppose, football instinct. Running it back. Lateral to Bernard Jackson. And once again, the big turnover for Denver's offense. Now they'll be very versatile in what they're trying to do.
Moses in motion. There's the wide receiver screen to Haven Moses. And he gets about 3 yards. Defense perfectly by San Diego. Wilbur Young had the pressure on. Ray Preston made the tackle. Here's the remainder of the interception and the lateral. Thompson, with great presence of mind, gives it to Bernard Jackson for an extra 15 yards. And do you know, Bob, that was only the 4th interception this year by that great Denver secondary that led the AFC with 31 last year.
And I'll tell you another thing. Bernard Jackson was a running back in college at Washington State. And I do believe Bernard Jackson is the all-time leading rusher at Washington State.
First interception for Thompson, needless to say. The team's only got 4. Vince Kinney in at one of the wide receiving spots now for Denver. Rob Lytle on the pitch to the 45-yard line. Gary Big Hands Johnson is a man who ran him down, along with Woody Lowe, the linebacker.
Good pursuit.
Oh, excellent. San Diego's defense now really getting into the football game. Not that they weren't earlier, mind you, but the offense was on the field so much that the defense really didn't have a chance to assert itself.
Well, they have to, but Sam, that interception does one thing. It takes the field position advantage away from the San Diego Chargers. Even if Denver does not get a first down here or a score, San Diego's going to be backed up starting the fourth quarter.
Jerome Dove in for Willie Buchanan on this important third down play. We'll return. We've ended 3 quarters. We'll be back in a moment. First play of the fourth quarter from Mile High Stadium in Denver. It's a 7-0 Bronco lead. 75,000 people. The 68th consecutive sellout here in Denver. Third down, 5. Weiss has a very big play. No flag. Yes, there is a late flag. And the pass is incomplete. A very late flag on the far side of the field. Norris Weiss very slow in getting up. Freddie Dean had the pressure on him. He's lived in the backfield of Denver today. Let us pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KOA TV for Denver.
Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy back in Denver. Craig Morton moving around the sidelines. Maybe ready to come into the football game. Weiss is being helped off the field and Morton's on.
The only relief quarterback I've ever heard of in professional football is Craig Morton.
He's doing a real hurry-up job in the bullpen. I can tell you, he threw about 2 pitches and he's ready to come on.
Well, they got to be that way if we're going to pay him a lot of money to be a reliever.
And again, if you're looking at the black armband on his left sleeve, it's in memory of the very popular public relations director of the Denver Broncos, Bob Peck, who passed away on Tuesday. Just an outstanding man, loved here in Denver, obviously. In fact, loved all around the National Football League. And it's an inspired Denver team playing this game for Peck, obviously.
Sam, I can't tell you what's wrong with Norris Weiss, but I do know that Gary Big Hands Johnson hit him right on the knee. Now, that could be a bruise. It could be a hyperextension. I'm not really sure, but here we go with Craig Morton.
So the offsides call against San Diego gives Denver a third down in less than 1 now after they missed converting on the pass. Into the pile. He may have gotten the first down.
Canada.
Larry Canada, number 35, the ball carrier. And Denver, with Craig Morton at the helm, gets the very important first down here early in the fourth quarter. Now Jensen comes into the lineup. They are alternating on almost every play. Ironically, Morton put it up 30 times last week in Oakland, was not sacked, he of no mobility, and Weiss threw it up 11 times and was sacked 5. And he's supposed to be the evasive one. Play action for Morton from behind. Oh, look at the hit on Rick Upchurch by Glenn Edwards. And Upchurch is down. Morton was hit by Freddie Dean from behind as he released the football, and Upchurch was buried by Pine Edwards.
And Sam, this is what we call in the business a snot bubbler. From the backside, Glenn Edwards nails him right on the chin. That's a right cross. That hurts, my friend. I mean to tell you, you are looking for her, and there is none.
He's playing the kind of football now in San Diego that he did in the glory years in Pittsburgh, 74 and 75 particularly. He was MVP on the Steelers' Super Bowl IX team and was a tremendously popular football player in Pittsburgh. Upchurch is up, and that is outstanding news. Look at him trot off.
That guy is amazing. With all the punt returns and all the pass receptions he gets, he's going to get hit a lot. He is 5'10" and 170, and he's got to be one of the toughest kids you'll ever run across.
Now, let me tell you something about San Diego. Bob Trumpy talked about the altitude, how tired it makes players on occasion, or perhaps the fallacy therein. San Diego has gone with the same defense all day in this 85-degree weather. 2nd and 10 for Morton. Keyworth, close to a first down. Stopped by Ray Preston. But Keyworth out of the backfield for about 8 yards.
Morton's amazing. Absolutely amazing. They don't like Weiss. They don't like Craig Morton. They don't like any quarterbacks they got here in Denver. And yet Craig Morton comes in there and does a job like that. There's Norris Weiss.
Who are they?
Those people out there in the orange shirts. They don't want him, Morton, the quarterback. They don't want Weiss, the quarterback. I'd like to see one of them get out there and throw it.
Third down at the long yard. Double tight end. Ron Eglaw. Troy Smiley alone. 13 and a half minutes to play regulation time. Great defensive play.
Mistake.
By number 29, Mike Williams. As Canada tried to go outside for the first down, and Williams was not fooled, was not blocked.
And a guy who is his size and about 6'2", 225, who goes outside is a big mistake. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line if my geometry teacher was correct. And he should not go outside, and it does appear they're going to go for it. On 4th down, Williams to the sideline. I think he got kicked in the eye.
He did indeed.
By Larry Canada.
So on 4th down now and 4. And obviously, I say obviously, apparently out of Jim Turner's field goal range, which would be 50 yards.
No, I do think what Craig Morton here is going to do here is hold him at the line and try to throw him off. Try to throw him off. Doesn't have time. Delay of game. Blew the whole thing.
Yes, they did indeed. 30-second clock ran down, and so now they're going to have to punt it away. And obviously, Morton's intent was exactly what you were talking about, Bob. He never got a chance to really do it as they ran the 30-second clock all the way down. And here's the call from referee Red Cashin.
Delay by the offense.
Well, San Diego has dodged a bullet here. A good drive by Denver.
Luke Prestridge is punting for, I believe, the 6th time in the game. He is averaging 52.5 yards a pop, and he has the wind at his back, although it is not distance he wants here, Bob. He'd like to put it out inside the 10. You know he could kick it through the end zone without it blinking an eyelash. He's aiming for the corner. Line drive punt. A great afternoon for Prestridge, 36 yards out at the 1. They had to do it again, and this time it was returned to about the 15-yard line. So Prestridge's outstanding punt that went out at the 1 was nullified by the penalty. This time he punts at 36 yards, and Fuller returns at 9. So San Diego with obviously better field position, and there is a timeout on the field as you look at Luke Prestridge, the great rookie out of Baylor.
Well, that first kick he had, Sam, was absolutely phenomenal. That's exactly what your punter to do. What you want your punter to do.
Coming up Saturday, October 20th on NBC Sports World, and don't forget Sports World is on Saturdays. It's the WBA World Heavyweight Championship fight. John Tate, Jerry Coetzee from Pretoria, South Africa. It will be live on NBC. From the 16-yard line, Faust down here to Jefferson. He overthrew him. Oh, and 2 Denver Broncos collided. Steve Foley and I think Bernard Jackson. Jefferson just got out of the way in the nick of time.
And that was just simply overthrown by Dan Fouts. I would imagine he wishes he had that one back. But the linebackers at Denver are the guys who are causing Fouts the most trouble. They're very active. They get deep in pass coverage, and he's got to throw it over the linebackers and underneath the defensive backs. And, I mean, gravity prohibits you from doing that.
You know, before we get too far away from Prestridge, who's had a great day, that rookie beat out the veteran Bucky Dilts. Sent him packing out of Denver, and then Dilts found a home in Baltimore. Second down, quick pitch. Thomas, nothing, lost the yard. Tommy Jackson, 57, who probably is every bit as quick as Mike Thomas, if not quicker.
Well, as I told you, the Denver defense is the part of the Denver football team that makes everything go. Here you see Russ Washington trying to get Barney Chavis on the ground. Chavis, Jackson, Louis Wright, all of them out there Nowhere to go. They have not come back to that motion formation out of the backfield and throwing underneath it. San Diego has not.
Jackson very critical of himself and his teammates after the shot in Oakland last Sunday. He said, "We are overconfident that it will not happen this Sunday." And thus far, the Broncos have shut the Chargers up. Home run to Joyner. Great catch. Single coverage by Steve Foley. Joyner came back for it like a good receiver has to be able to do.
Sam, it's taken me this long to realize it, but Denver is going with Foley on Charlie Joyner all day long and Louis Wright on JJ. And this is just a great catch by a veteran receiver who comes back for the football. Foley never saw the football trying to keep up with Charlie Joyner, and my goodness gracious, what a play. That really got San Diego out of a hole.
And what you didn't see was the blitz by Tom Jackson, who belted Danny Fouts to the ground, and Fouts kind of hobbled his way downfield. He is still limping as he approaches the line of scrimmage. First down, San Diego trailing 7-0. At the 47 of Denver. Thomas.
Whoa!
40, 35, and down he goes. Tripped up by Bernard Jackson, but the Chargers are in business. They have gone from their own 16 to the Denver 33.
In 2 plays. And I'm telling you, this guy makes moves, Mike Thomas, that no coach can take credit for. Rookie of the year in the 1975. Washington's second leading rusher behind Larry Brown while he was there. And how they got him, San Diego, for a 5th-round draft choice is beyond me.
First down, they spot the ball right on the 33 of Denver. Artie Owens now in the backfield, number 24, along with Clarence Luger. Play action for Fouts. Throws it out here. He's got Artie Owens wide open. 20, 16-yard line. First down, San Diego, and Fouts has really opened it up. Randy Gradishar made the stop. Minnesota has scored. Tommy Kramer to Sammy White. The Vikings now back within 3 of Dallas. It's 23-20. The Rams are blowing out New Orleans 28-10. That's late in the 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh 37-21 over Cleveland. Ryan Seif has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Likewise, Terry Bradshaw. And Seattle leads San Fran 21-7. Baltimore 10-6 over the Jets. Baltimore looking for its first victory. The screen to Jefferson. Down he goes. Not a bad play by Louis Wright.
Also, Tom Jackson wasn't fooled a bit, saw the offensive lineman pulling out in front of him. We got a flag, and I think it's a clip on somebody out there. Jefferson faking downfield. Watch Jackson come into the picture, number 57 on your left-hand side. That's Russ Washington. I think they're going to call him for a clip. Great play by Tom Jackson.
It was more Jackson than Louis Wright, and I gave Louis all the credit.
A clip. I think it's against Russ Washington. Sam, Dan Fouts is 21 for 32 and 244 yards, and I can't understand why they're going to the fancy stuff down here. Here's the call.
Clipping by number 70 on the offense.
It
Still
has not
first
been a
down.
good day for Russ Washington. 2 holding penalties, 1 clip. He has accounted for 35 yards in penalties himself. 12-year veteran out of Missouri. Denver now back at the, San Diego back at the Denver 32-yard line. Look at the stats on Fouts. You'd think he'd have 4 touchdowns on the board, but he has no points. All day, throws it in there, and it's complete at the 25-yard line. Bob Swenson making the stop on John Jefferson, and he got back some of the yardage, but certainly not enough on a 2nd down play.
And I'm not sure how he got that in there. John Jefferson was in amongst 5 or 6 Denver Broncos. Randy Gradishar was right behind him, and because of that cast on his hand, he couldn't stick his hand up to try to catch it. Watch this. Jefferson coming from the right. They're all over him. Great catch. Great concentration on the football. That was Rizzo that couldn't get his hand on the football. Well, they got back half of it. That's what they wanted to do.
Norris Weiss with a knee injury will return only to hold for placements. Morton is on for the duration at quarterback. Unless, of course, he should go down. Good pass, Kellen Winslow. And hanging on is Steve Foley at about the 16-yard line. But that outstanding rookie out of Missouri gets back some of that lost yardage again. And now San Diego is down deep with a 3rd down and about 8 yards to go. Kellen Winslow, who went off earlier in the 3rd quarter but has come back and shows no effects of the injury.
Considered by many in the college draft last year as the best tight end there was. He's got, coming into this game, he had 17 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Biggest play of the game for San Diego. And if you're looking for a big play guy on the other line, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, watch number 57, Tom Jackson. He'll make it time and again. Oh, just out of the reach of John Jefferson. And again, the coverage by Louis Wright, and the pass about 6 inches too tall from Danny Fouts.
That's the point, Sam. Coverage by Louis Wright on John Jefferson. And every time Denver's been in a crucial situation, they have put Louis Wright on John Jefferson to try to neutralize him. And Louis Wright has done an excellent job. And I do think if Dan Fouts had thrown a tight spiral on that, J.J. might have caught it.
Girella will attempt his 4th field goal of the day. The hold by Fuller at the 24. It'll be an attempt of 34 yards. Girella has had 1 block, 1 hit the upright, and 1 go wide to the right. He is 0 for 3. Sends this one out to the right, hit the upright, and missed that one. I do not believe it. Roy Girella has hit 2 uprights in this football game. It's Denver 7, San Diego nothing. We'll be right back. 7:08 to go in regulation time from Denver. Girella 0 for 3 that count, 0 for 1 that did not count because of a penalty.
And he's hit the bar twice. Place kickers may apply. San Diego Stadium, San Diego, California.
He's a nice man, too. Had some great years in Pittsburgh. Here's Craig Morton. This is a big week for him. Hand off Otis Armstrong. Stringing it out. San Diego. Armstrong breaks a tackle to the 29-yard line. The reason, Bob, it's a very big week for Craig Morton, his lovely wife, Susie, gave birth to a baby girl, Craig's first child. So I'm sure it's a very, very thrilling week for him. And now relieving Norris Weiss, he'd like to get a drive going.
Now, Sam, I do not understand this. After Otis Armstrong runs the ball like that, Red Miller sends in a reserve tight end, Rob Lytle, John Keyworth, and Otis Armstrong comes out. Wait a minute. What are we doing here?
I could not agree with you more, sir.
Is that team that specialized?
Mr. Miller will have to answer that. Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. Straight ahead. Keyworth puts his head into the 30-yard line. I don't believe he reached it. Big number 99, Wilbur Young, met him head on and stacked up the play, and I think they'll spot this ball a little shy. Well, there's Miller. Why don't you ask him now?
Well, he's got more important things on his mind, but that was a short yardage situation. But for the life of me, I do not understand why. There goes Otis Armstrong back in the ballgame. If you've got a guy who can gain the kind of yardage that Otis Armstrong can make the corner, and you got running backs in Jensen, Keyworth, people in Canada that weigh 230 pounds, you need an Otis Armstrong in the backfield to get you outside yardage.
Well, they got the first down. Keyworth got his head into the 30 just enough. Moses and Upchurch are split left. The clock, a very important factor with 6:17 to play. Armstrong, look at this. 40, 45, midfield, and down he goes. And if he keeps doing that, the critics here in Denver, and there are many who question why Otis doesn't play more, will be all over Red Miller.
Well, I do think he's stating his case, and as I just said, when you've got big running backs who can get it for you up the middle, why not give the ball to Otis Armstrong? Went to Purdue, gained 1,400 yards in 1974. He's had hamstring injuries and nagging injuries, but he still appears to be able to run the ball with a great deal of verve.
Second all-time leading rusher for the Denver Broncos is Otis Armstrong behind Floyd Little. 6 carries, 53 yards. He's had himself a day. Armstrong through the middle to the 49-yard line. A flag is down. The reason that ball was spotted back in Denver territory, while he reached the San Diego 43, they ruled that he stepped out of bounds. And so he lost a considerable yardage, but it was still an excellent carry.
Holding on Denver coming up here.
Oh, my.
And Denver can ill afford that. Now you see what it does now. Otis Armstrong is coming off on the sideline because he plays so little the first 5 games. He's already out of breath. I'd put that guy in my backfield, except for short yardage situations, I suppose, and I'd give it to him 25 or 30 yards, 30 times a ball game. I'd take my chances with him. But then nobody's called me from Denver for the head coaching job.
Or anywhere around the league.
Number 60 on the offense. Still first down.
Well, my number is unlisted, Sam.
Well, you know the reason. People are so impressed with the job you do as a broadcaster, they don't want you to leave the business.
Well, nobody in their right mind wants to grow up and be a head football coach. I know that for sure.
From the 31, so as San Diego did earlier, a holding penalty really stops the momentum of the Denver Broncos here. Lord knows the Chargers have had a ton of those. Morton, play action. Throws it down here for Riley Odoms, and it just off his fingertips. Craig threw it a little high. At about the 35-yard line, a flag is down again. And that's in the backfield of Denver. We could have back-to-back holding calls, and the Broncos are going to be in real trouble here if that's the case. Along with Bob Trumpy, Sam Nover in Denver, Colorado. You see referee Red Cashin walking off 10 yards. The second straight holding call against Denver. They lead at 7-0. 5:58 to go, regulation time. It has been a titanic defensive struggle, to say the least. The Broncos' only touchdown coming following a fumble recovery by Bill Thompson. Norris Reese bootlegged it in from 3 yards out. He has since been injured as Craig Morton is on. First down and 30, and Rob Lytle has the football. Very little yardage at all. We welcome those of you who are watching the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. It is a 7-0 Denver lead at this point, but the Broncos have run into back-to-back holding calls.
Sam, you said it was a defensive struggle, but wait a minute. San Diego has missed 4 scoring opportunities, 3 missed field goals by Roy Girella, numerous holding calls on San Diego, 5 penalties for San Diego, 6 now for Denver. There's number 9, Mr. Roy Girella. His first week at work in the 1979 season, maybe his last.
But before you castigate him, 2 of his 3 misses have hit the upright.
So what?
Unfortunately for him, they bounced the wrong way. Morton throws it out here to Riley Odoms. A great catch at the 48. And right over the linebacker, Raymond Preston.
Sam, going into this game, I thought he was the guy who was going to be the key for Denver. Riley Odoms, 6'4 and a half, 235 pounds on 5'9", 170-pound Mike Fuller. Craig Morton almost stumbles, but this is a well-thrown football. A good arch on it, gets it over the linebacker's outstretched hands, and he catches the ball and stays in bounds.
5:11 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's 7-0 Denver. Now Morton's got to work on the clock, and as Bob pointed out to you, while the score does not indicate an offensive game at all, Danny Fouts has moved this team up and down the field. He's thrown for over 250 yards. They got him. Down he goes, back at the 40. Charles DeJournay and 79, Big Hands Johnson. But it is not as if Morton did not have plenty of time. The San Diego secondary, excellent coverage.
Tell you what, Sam, that was an important play for Denver. They needed to keep that drive alive. And for you people who just joined us, San Diego has not won in Denver since 1968. They are trying to break a 10-year-old jinx.
You're looking at Mike Fuller, number 3 in the AFC in punt returns. Luke Prestridge, who has averaged over 50 yards a punt today, kicks it for the 7th time. Fuller. Down he goes at the 11. Glenn Hyde, the former University of Pittsburgh star, made the stop. And Danny Fouts is 89 yards away from a tying touchdown. 50 yards on the punt, 1 on the return. We'll be right back. Welcome back to a magnificent day in the mile-high city of Denver. 85 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. So far, a pretty good day for Denver. They lead San Diego 7-0. From their 11-yard line, Fouts. Down here to Artie Owens, and he dropped the ball at the 30-yard line. He had to come back for it, but it's still no excuse.
That is no excuse. That is dead in his hands. He should have caught that. Artie Owens is a good receiver. Once again, San Diego taking advantage of that single coverage when they run a back in motion. Look at that, 260 yards, no points.
And updating that Pittsburgh score, the Steelers leading the Browns 44-21. A great day for Bradshaw. 3 touchdown passes. Likewise, Brian Sipe. Franco Harris, 2 touchdown runs of 71 and 26 yards. Of course, all the details and the highlights with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle on the NFL Report following this game. And this one is a long way from being over. 4.5 minutes left. Fouts. Intercepted and dropped by number 56.
Tom Jackson hit it up in the air, Sam.
And then Evans dropped it.
Evans almost had it, replacing Randy Gradishar, who was out with minor finger surgery, has played a lot of the football game, but Larry Evans played the entire preseason for Randy Gradishar, did an excellent job. Fouts had nobody open, and I do believe that the guy he throws it to is about his 4th receiver. Looking desperately for Clarence Williams over the middle. That almost cost him another turnover.
I think we gave too much credit to Jackson. I think Evans deserves all of it. He's the one who tipped it.
You may be right.
Here's a big play for Fouts. 3rd down and 10 at his 11-yard line.
Jefferson.
He's got him at the 30-yard line.
Oh, that kid's sensational.
An outstanding catch by Jefferson, but remember what we said about Danny Fouts. Quoting Bill Walsh, the head coach of the 49ers, Fouts is the best leader in the NFL. How's that from leadership from the 11-yard line?
And this guy's only in his 2nd year of professional football, Sam. He's a clutch receiver. Fouts is very comfortable going to him in a very tight situation, and he makes the catch 1st and 10 on Denver's 30.
Joyner wide left, Jefferson to the right. Under 4 minutes to play in a 7-0 Denver lead. Owens. Down he goes at the 37-yard line, but that was good for 6. Stopped there by Bill Thompson, the strong safety. So now Fouts has got a 2nd down and 4. Could probably do most anything. What are you uh-ohing about?
Here comes Larry Burton in, 87. You see him right on the right edge of your screen, an Olympic sprinter. Legitimate 9.2 speed. Put him on Steve Foley and send him the distance. We'll see what happens.
And then throw it to Joyner.
Put it full trajectory. No, I'd throw it to Burton. Full trajectory. We got Burton on free safety, Bernard Jackson on the bottom of the field.
Single coverage. The handoff to Artie Owens after a defensive play. That is Randy Gradishar's replacement, Larry Evans, the 4th-year pro out of Mississippi College at 6'2", 214. And as Trumpy pointed out throughout our entire telecast, they've got one linebacker who weighs more than 220, and that's Gradishar.
And the rest of them can run with any running back there is in professional football. And that's what Denver tries to do. They get their linebackers in the defensive coverage. Here comes Burton down on the bottom of the field again with Bernard Jackson.
I love it. 3rd down and 4. Fouts another must-convert situation. Sends Winslow in motion. The home run ball for Larry Burton. He's down there, and I don't know. It's wrestled down and incomplete. For what seemed an eternity, Burton hung up in the air with Bernard Jackson, and when they came down, the ball trickled to the ground.
You know what? I think Larry Burton had to slow up in the middle of that pattern so he would not outrun the football thrown by Dan Fouts. Watch this. All he's got. And Burton still has to come back for the football. Good coverage by Bernard Jackson. I thought they'd get it done, but obviously Dan Fouts just simply couldn't throw it far enough. And I do believe they'll go for it on 4th down and about 4.
2.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter of a 7-0 Denver lead. And to say that the 75,101 are a little edgy at the moment is an understatement, and the Chargers want to talk it over. So Fouts heads for his head coach, Don Coryell, and I think there'll be a lot of contemplation before they decide to go on 4th down from their own 35. We'll be back in a moment. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy, we're back in Denver. You see the importance of this football game. If Denver can hold the lead, a 3-way tie in the AFC West, Kansas City, Denver, and San Diego will all be 4-2.
Sam, would you believe there was 560 yards offense for the 2 teams? 7 points are on the scoreboard.
I am dumbfounded.
357 for San Diego, 203 for Denver. Denver leads 7-0, 2:27 to go in the game.
4th down and 4 at the San Diego 36.
Joyner
Over the middle, wide open.
play.
45, 50, 45 at Denver and out of bounds. An outstanding call by Coryell, or maybe it was Fouts on his own.
Or Jim Hannafin, the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. A great play. They send Jefferson in motion from left to right. Charlie Joyner just sneaks across behind the line of scrimmage, and he is standing there wide open. Watch this play. See if you can see Joyner sneaking down at the bottom. You can't really pick him up, but there's nobody covering him. 1st and 10, San Diego on the Denver 44.
And one of the great trades that owner Gene Klein has made for veterans over the year. That was the Coy Bacon deal to Cincinnati to get Joyner. They've also acquired Ed White from Minnesota for Ricky Young, picking up Willie Buchanan for a draft choice this year. Fouts wants it all. Oh! Intercepted! Joe Rizzo! Out of bounds at the 45 of San Diego. Second interception by Denver today, and what a big one that was.
That's what we were talking about earlier. The linebackers for the Denver defense are the most active in professional football, and we got a fight on the field and a flag, but who cares?
The guys who were fighting care.
Well, that's why I'm up here. Fouts, a poorly thrown pass. Rizzo is standing right there, intended for John Jefferson. And with 2:09 left, Sam, it's looking mighty slim for the Chargers. And it's going to go 11 years without a win in Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado.
They are still talking about this little fracas at the 45-yard line now of San Diego. Face mask against Denver. That was the first indication I saw from Cashin. Now we may have a bit of confusion here because there perhaps was something that happened after the play. And as we've mentioned, the Broncos, Bob just said it, the Broncos haven't lost to San Diego since December 1st of '68 here at Mile High.
And the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, 1968, John Hadle, threw 4 touchdown passes to Lance Allworth. The quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Steve Tinson. Here's the call.
It's a post-possession play, obviously. Denver keeps the ball.
Personal foul, face mask, number 36 of the Roosters.
Got it wrong.
Happened after he was out of bounds. It's 1st and 25.
Oh, I see.
Bill Thompson, number 36, is the man. Now, he must have done something away from the football because Rizzo obviously carried the ball out of bounds safely. Nothing was done to him. Denver with the ball now at the 40. And 2:09 away from a great victory that'll put him into a first-place tie with Kansas City and San Diego.
Wait a minute, Sam. I want to tell you something. If it's face mask on Billy Thompson, that's a personal foul. That should be 15 yards.
Cashin wants the mic back again. Let's give it to him.
The distance is 1st and 10. 1st and 10.
Okay, it was 15 yards. I understand.
Well, if you do, explain it to me.
Well, it was a personal foul because he can't be a face mask because his team had the ball.
So from the 40-yard line, the bottom line is that Denver has the ball back again on the second interception of the day by the Broncos. And they give to Otis Armstrong, 45. Down he goes, about the 47-yard line. Stopped by strong safety Mike Fuller.
Shades of the Denver Broncos a few years ago with Floyd Little on this sweep.
This is a long way from being over. We have reached the 2-minute warning. 7-0 Denver. Stay with us. See the timeouts remaining could be a very important factor for both sides as we enter the last 2 minutes of regulation time and a 7-0 Denver lead. Morton's got a 2nd down and 3 now from his own 47-yard line. And Otis Armstrong, the leading ball carrier, 60 yards, 7 carries. And we still can't understand why Red Miller doesn't use him more often.
I don't want to put the kiss of death on Denver, but they've had 9 fumbles in 5 games. So this game is a long way from being over.
Long count by Morton. Gives it to Armstrong again. Cuts inside, a good block to the 45, 40. First down at the 41 of San Diego. He got a great block from Tom Glassick back at the 47-yard line. And they have run that sweep very well. Actually, it's not a wide sweep. He cuts it up.
It's a power sweep. He also got a great block from Keyworth and Riley Odoms at the point. Armstrong finally getting a chance to show why what he said in the paper that I should be playing more may have some truth to it.
And another big first down for Denver as they reach the San Diego 36-yard line, protecting a 7-0 lead. Otis has had himself a day. Second leading ground gainer in Denver history behind Floyd Little. A minute 53 to go. Fourth quarter, I formation. And Jensen 30-yard line. Gary Johnson and Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, combined to make the stop. We talked earlier about the altitude and the wear and tear it has on football players. And one observation was that San Diego had gone basically with the same defense all day, very little substitution, with the exception of Willie Buchanan, who was injured. And maybe, Bob, and I say just maybe, it's starting to take its toll.
But, Sam, you can't really put the tag on the altitude for the San Diego Chargers having their problems today. They have missed 4, 5 opportunities to score, and when you do that against Denver, you're not going to win the football game. I don't care if you're playing at 35,000-foot elevation.
Don't forget, also next Sunday, another outstanding lineup of exciting NFL action here on NBC. Brian Gumbel, Mike Adamle get us started 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL 79. Nice feature on Canadian-style football in Calgary. Then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the high-powered Patriots of New England and the Bears of Walter Payton. Of course, they beat Buffalo in what has to be termed an upset today in Buffalo, 7-0. Other key games, the Buffalo-Miami battle, Joe Ferguson against Bob Greasy, the Seahawks and the explosive Chargers, and Denver versus the surprising Chiefs. We ask you to check your local listings for the game and time in your area. We got a pretty good football game in Cincinnati, Bobby, you and me. The Steelers and the Bengals. 2nd down and 8 from the 34 of San Diego. Denver 7-0. Armstrong to about the 32, has the ball stolen, but I believe it came after the whistle. And
No, they gave it to the Chargers.
No, I don't believe they have yet. I haven't seen an official signal from Red Cashin.
He's pointing his arm the other way,
He
Sam.
is now. He is now. He waited a very, very long time, but how's that for a turnover? 1:33 to go, and the Chargers are not dead.
Well, that's what we said. 9 fumbles so far in 1979. They've recovered 5 of them. He gets a good hit. Yes, sir, that's a legitimate fumble. Dejournay made the fumble.
Wilbur Young, all 300 pounds of him, and Armstrong lost the battle there. 34-yard line. Let's see if Fouts can march him down. He's got 2 timeouts and 1:33 on the clock. Luke went out here for Artie Owens, but he caught it out of bounds.
1 foot. Good call by the official.
He has had himself a day. Danny Fouts has thrown for over, I find it incredulous to even say it, over 300 yards. And when you look at the stats, if you didn't know the score, you'd think that San Diego had at least 4 touchdowns on the board. They have not a point.
Total, the 2 teams have over 600 yards now, Sam. 7 points. 126.
It's even more amazing that Fouts hasn't got a point on the board when he's got half the total yardage in the air. Throws this one down, intercepted by Thompson. Right into his hands. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 1:15 to go. 3rd interception, 2nd by Bill Thompson. Well, this crowd tells you a lot. Tremendous reaction. Jefferson, the intended receiver.
I don't blame him for trying to get the ball to J.J., but Clarence Williams underneath J.J. was standing wide open, Sam. You saw the double coverage that J.J. got. Thompson just standing back there in center field. It was thrown right to him. He was wide open. That's his 3rd interception, as Sam said.
Danny Fouts had but 4 interceptions in 5 games, entering this one. 3 today. Rob Lytle hits the pack at the 30-yard line and is shoved back. And San Diego now will have to exercise a timeout with 1:06 to play in the 4th quarter, trailing Denver 7-0.
Sam, I said that you get normally 6 opportunities to score in a football game. Roy Girella missed 3 field goals, and Dan Fouts has thrown 3 interceptions, 2 to Billy Thompson. That's your 6 chances. No wonder they don't have any points, and I don't care if they got 1,000,000 yards on them.
However, I'd hardly say they had scoring chances when he was intercepted from his own 30 and 36.
Yes, but when you start an offensive drive, you figure you got 6 to score.
33 seconds. They did not stop the clock. Morton back at his 32-yard line, covered by DeJournay and Big Hands Johnson. And now they use what I believe is their last timeout. So it'll be third down, Denver. San Diego has no timeouts left. They trail by 7. Third down, 11 for the Broncos. 32-yard line of San Diego. San Diego has used all of its timeouts. Morton falls on the ball at the 35. The clock will run out, and San Diego will have lost for the 11th straight year here at Mile High Stadium. Now, while you're watching this great celebration, Brian Sipe has thrown 2 more touchdown passes in Cleveland. The Browns trail Pittsburgh 44-35 with 9 minutes to play in that one. Some unbelievable football being played around the National Football League today. This one is over. 7-0 Denver, and they can thank their defense a whole lot, I would say, Bob.
Sam, when we started this football game, we told everyone about the dedication of the football team to Bob Peck with the black armbands on 3 of the players. Bob Peck, the publicity man for the Denver Broncos, died last Tuesday. He was loved by everybody on the football team. It may have been the difference.
Well, the statistics have yet to be compiled, but you can rest assured that San Diego outdistanced the Denver Broncos a great deal today in total yardage, but it counts on the scoreboard, and the Broncos had the big turnovers. The fumble recovery by Bill Thompson that he ran down to the 11. 2 plays later, Norris Weiss bootlegged the ball in the end zone, so Thompson's got to be your star. 2 interceptions of Dan Fouts, and he also had the fumble recovery that set up the lone touchdown in this ball game. 7-0 Denver.